felt like hiding under there for a minute ago. Okay, so on immigration reform, and we've got a couple of first immigrant families on our panel, so they'll have some interesting perspective as to how things are today and what they were like when they arrived in Canada. We'll get some of that, but I'd also like to hear from you, of course, as many as possible. So over here first. Oh my God. Okay, sorry. Can somebody ask that lady to leave, please? Can we go over here? While that lady goes, look, it's grab a headline, put me on TV. Can we just start over here?
Thank you. The nice people behind me let me jump with my question on constitutional spending. These federal transfers ensure minimum standards across Canada, including, for example, the universal single payer that was mentioned by the Premier of the Canada Health Act and that 10-year long-term commitment. If Alberta advocates for these sort of changes that you're proposing, where we can opt out of federal spending but not have to worry about any of these minimum standards that are set, what protections are there for things like the universal single payer in the Canada Health Act, or universal childcare, or, for example, the Canada Disability Benefit, which Alberta is the only province to be clawing back from these individuals? Why would we opt out of these minimum standards?
So normally, Premier, I'm going to let you answer that, but I just want to say, I know it's frustrating because you get in the line and then you don't get to ask your question. So some are going back to old topics. We're just going to try to allow this, and what do they say? Over-prepare and go with the damn flow. So, Premier, can you answer that one?
Well, I guess the way I look at it is that we are served very well by having a single payer system in Alberta. One of the things that I've observed in traveling around the world is some of the complications that come from having multiple different insurers. Nobody's asking for that. What we're wanting to do is to have more private sector delivery of publicly funded services. I know that those who are criticizing us want to try to blur the lines on that, but the reason you do that is because when you pay a charter surgical center, whether they're providing for women's reproductive health, as we have been providing under multiple different governments, whether they're providing eye care, whether they are providing knee and hip replacements, when they are being paid for the services they provide, they end up doing more of them. So we've seen a 50% increase in the number of surgeries at charter surgical centers, and we have not seen an increase in the number of surgeries done in public hospitals. So this is what we're experimenting with, is being able to provide, and this is the fight we're having with the federal government right now over childcare, because we have 70% of our childcare is provided by often immigrant women, but they're women entrepreneurs, and the federal government wants to stamp that sector out. They want them to all be nonprofit and public. And so that's one of the reasons why we want to do it differently, because we think we'll get better service by having a mixed system of public pay with private delivery. So that's just one of the differences, and it's what makes Alberta unique.
That's it. That's it. Okay, on immigration.
Thank you. Quebec is able to decide the level of immigrants that they are able to take in.
Yes.
And Alberta and the rest of the provinces are not. There is a current act right now on the law that you, Ms. Smith, has decided to pursue a few years ago to take back some control. So right now, as you talk about taking back more control, why are you not willing to bring that law, the Sovereignty Act, within a united Canada and enact that to pursue the changes of immigration you would like to pursue today?
It seems like a fair question.
Well, I had hoped that we'd be able to, through negotiation, be able to get the federal government to see our point of view. When we first came in, we were allowed to nominate 6,700 provincial nominees. We managed to, for 1 year, increase that to 10,000, and then they unilaterally cut it in half last year. And so that's part of the reason why we're having this consultation now, because if you read Section 95 of the Constitution, it reads that the provinces have the right to determine not only agriculture policy, but immigration policy, and that the feds can make laws in those areas from time to time. We've got it flipped on its head. They control everything and we can control nothing. So that's part of the reason we're doing the consultation, is to see if Albertans want us to exert our rights there and be a lot more like Quebec.
Thank you. So, question, Sumita, who is the chair of the Premier's Council on Multiculturalism. When you came to Canada, what were things like? How have they changed? And what do you recommend on an immigration subject?
Thank you. I'll try to keep this as short as possible within the 45 seconds, but it's an important topic we all need to think about, a different perspective from the first generation immigrant. We're touching on a deep and urgent concern many Albertans are beginning to express, one that's rooted in love for the province, a desire to protect its future, and a sense of fairness for everyone who calls Alberta home. Where do we go from here when Alberta becomes unaffordable, is the question. Alberta has long been a place of opportunity, a province where me and my family made our home. We found affordable housing, stable jobs, and a chance to build a better life. That promise has drawn thousands from across Canada. But now the very foundation that made Alberta attractive is under pressure. In 2024 alone, 44,000 families moved to Alberta from other provinces. People are coming because Alberta is still one of the few affordable provinces left. But the question is, what happens when Alberta too becomes unaffordable? BC and Ontario once had Alberta to turn to. Where will Albertans go if the same pressure push families out? This conversation, sorry Bruce, just a few more seconds. This conversation isn't about blaming newcomers. Interprovincial migrants and immigrants alike contribute to the fabric of Alberta. But welcoming more people requires responsible planning.
That's it.
I'm asking reasonable check stops in place, not to close the door, but to ensure our housing, schools, healthcare, and job market can keep pace with rapid growth.
Yes.
We owe it to people already here and those who are arriving in future.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Hi there. My question to the panel is this. It is referring to the to bring sovereignty to Alberta. So the question is this: how are we to achieve that Alberta's voice is going to be actually heard under constitutional law in Canada and under Confederation, when the vast majority of the population and voice resides in Ontario and Quebec? And that we need to have 7 provinces in order to join us, in order to actually get the changes made to the referendum for sovereignty, but also the equalization payments when they get per capita. I don't know who the other lady was that was talking about. Yes, everybody pays their taxes.
Thank you.
But Alberta, that's it? Okay, no. Well, I had a lot.
Well, I thought the queue was a little quick too, for what it's worth. But anyway, we're trying to do immigration now, and we've kind of jumped into a couple that I think we addressed earlier. But is there anything anybody wants to add on that, or can I go to the next speaker? Next speaker. Okay, go ahead.
Hello, thank you. I have a comment, and then I'd like to ask a question. For my comment, I think it's kind of disgusting that you guys are blaming immigrants directly in a video for the problem.
Get lost. Nobody did that. Nobody did that.
It did. It was in the video, and we all saw it.
Yeah.
So I think that's disgusting. The problem is private developers. We need more public housing that serves the people and not private interests.
Oh.
And then just for a question, I was going to direct it to our premier, but if the moderator has better opinions and he would like to continue speaking,
go for it, man.
That's okay
go
with me
for
too.
It. Go for it.
Is our premier and the moderator willing to publicly denounce the fascist policies of our southern neighbor that are oppressing people and ruining lives? Can you do that?
Wow. Wow. I don't know. Go ahead.
I have a question for the panel in reference to the constitutional slide.
Sorry, can't quite hear you. Just speak into the mic.
Sorry, I have a question for the panel that is referencing the constitutional questions before, but I believe it covers almost everything here. Why are we not placing more focus on a Triple E Senate instead of it being a footnote? That's it. No,
Okay,
no
awesome.
grandstanding, no soliloquies,
Awesome.
no nothing of that.
Well, it's not immigration, but I don't know anybody.
Well, I think we're at a point now where maybe we should have a conversation about abolishing the Senate. I mean, we've tried to, my personal view, I can tell you, I was having a conversation with one of our fellow premiers, Nova Scotia. They have 10 senators, and we only have 6. They have 1 million population, and we have 5. And I said, don't you think that's unfair? And he said, oh, I didn't notice because I don't have any relationship really with the Senate. It doesn't really matter to me. And so that is a complete reversal on what the role of the Senate was supposed to be. It was supposed to represent regional interests. It was not supposed to be biased, having unfair allocation so that you could just force through legislation at the federal level without any oversight. So this is part of the reason we're having this conversation. Do we bang our heads against the wall and try to get the same? I don't know now. Could we ever have a system now that we've had 24 seats going to Quebec where we would also give 24 seats to PEI? Because to Bruce's point, there is no second tier of provinces. We're all the same tier. So if we're going to have equal representation, is it even possible that we would give the same allocation to Quebec and PEI? Or we don't have provincial senates anymore. We used to at some point. Maybe it's the premiers who are supposed to be the counterbalance on the federal government and not the Senate. So that would be my observation.
Okay. I just think we're using some of the last half hour we'd allotted for open time on some of these discussions, and that's fine. Dr. Zhu, what year did you come to Canada with your family? What brought you here? What are your observations on immigration now and how it's changed in a minute or so?
Well, thank you, Bruce. Here's my story. So I came to Canada in 33 years ago. So my father did a lot of research, and he decided to bring me here for a better future. And back then, acupuncture was pretty much unknown. And 33 years later, look at it today, it's registered, it's legislated, and we have a Health Professions Act, and acupuncture is very much respected under lots of insurance companies as well. So back then, actually, immigration was a two-way street. You know, Canada helps immigrants like me and my family to settle in, and we took the chance, opportunities, we try to contribute. And still today, I'm still trying to contribute as much as I can. I really appreciate the opportunity, you know, Canada gave to our family. But just recently, you know, over the last 10 or so liberal government, I think immigration becoming a one-way street. It's more of Albertans contributing, Canadians contributing, and unwillingly, really. So the talents and the needs, I just don't see they're matching. We're not getting what we want. I think we should have a healthy discussion on immigration.
Fair.
Just like the reason.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Zhu. And that was pretty close to a minute, maybe a couple minutes.
Can I just maybe give some historic information here? The professor's been digging it up, just so that we understand how different the last couple of years have been from historic.
Sure.
So between 2009 and 2019, and remember we had different banners of governments under that period of time, historic international inflow was 0.6% of the population. So with 42 million people, that would be about 252,000. Last year it was 1.8 million. So you can see something has gone a little askew in our historic practices. And that's what we're talking about, is that level, if historically we were able to absorb 252,000 a year, can we absorb all of a sudden 1.8 million a year? And that is the question that we're having.
That's important data. Go ahead, sir.
Hey there, my name is Jared. I'm speaking on sovereignty, but I think that pertains to all the topics that we're here about. I just want to know, why are we talking about separatist ideas when we're in an active trade war with the United States? We should be unifying with our fellow countrymen from the Maritimes to Vancouver Island, and instead we're bickering and acting like children and that we deserve better. I know this government is busy. I understand governance is a hard job. You have trans kids to bully. You got people with disabilities to call money back from.
Okay, shut the mic off.
But I want to ask, why are you choosing treason as opposed to helping other Canadians against this time?
Come on, like, if you want a response, ask a question, make your point. Don't be a jerk. Like, seriously, go ahead. Let's go ahead over here, okay?
So my question is should we expect immigrants to pay insurance for their health care? I do not believe this is unreasonable. If I was to move to a different country, I'm responsible for taking care of my own health care. It is very true that those extensive numbers put extreme stress on our health care, on our education, on all of our public services. I think it is okay. Premier Smith, I still have 15 seconds left. I just want to ask you one quick thing about taxes and transparency. A lot of tax waste in the federal government. I just heard this week that we have removed the transparency on the internet for our Alberta government for over $100. Could you please be responsible to taxpayers or explain why?
I can't because I'm confused by that too. So we're going to be discussing that memo when we go to Cabinet on Tuesday. The issue that Cabinet discussed was that there are a number of my ministers who go to the same hotels when they're frequenting different municipalities, and they just wanted the name of the hotel redacted, just in case people were tracking them down and following. That was what the policy was supposed to be. It turned out to be something quite different. So we're going to see if we can maybe try to track down how that happened and do a reversal on that.
Excellent. Thank you. Good question. Fair answer. Okay, so we've got a question. Should take more control of the immigration system to counter Ottawa's open border policies? Who says yes? Who says no? The ayes have it.